I'm Shirley with Entertainment Weekly, and I'm here with the cast of a little show called Game of Thrones. Hi, guys!
Hey.
So, I want to start with the end over there, Sophie and Isaac. You guys are coming toward the end of the show, even though we don't know when that will be. You guys have grown up with the show. How are you feeling about that?
Kind of weird.
It's really sad, I think.
Yeah.
It feels like it feels like you're kind of going and seeing your second family every summer, and then when that's gone, it's like my safety net's gone. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I'll slip into a deep, deep depression.
Oh, no.
It's going to be super
Which
weird.
means we can never end Game of Thrones then.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Save your life. Game of Thrones on TV.
They were such cute kids when we hired them, but they've turned into monsters, so it's for the best for everybody.
All right. Well then, on a lighter...
You asshole.
On a lighter note, perhaps lighter note, Christian, I want to ask you, have people been coming up to you all week asking you to please hold the door?
Well, not only all week, but probably pretty much all year. Yeah, it's become a stable fixture in my life, and I can see it's going to be for a very long time. It's fun. I'm happy to hold doors.
You might as well just insert that into, songs you're DJing and just...
I am never going to do that. I'm going record now. I'm never doing a track cut. I'm totally never going to do that.
It's the best idea.
It's the worst idea ever.
30 years from
I have
now,
more
you're
for you
on the
guys.
cruise ship.
I'll ask him when the money runs out, and I'll see how many Hodor remixes I do.
All right. Well, Natalie, you've been Missandei for all these seasons. We see Daenerys finally going to Westeros, and a fan theory that's kind of out there is that she's turning into a villain. Not your character, but Daenerys. What is your take on that? I mean, she gives loud speeches, she massacres her enemies, she's now headed across the Narrow Sea. What do you think?
I hope that's not true. I mean, I love Daenerys' character because she's ferocious, but she's also, she's got her moral compass is generally pointing north. I mean, sometimes her judgment isn't always great, but she has an empathy for humanity, which I think is what makes her so great as a queen. Mm-hmm. So my character has been liberated by her and championed by her, so I can only see that side of her, really. Mm-hmm. I don't want to think of anything bad.
Yeah, that's true. You're also biased in this group.
Yeah,
so
absolutely biased.
It's not the right question for you. But speaking of queens, David and Dan, I wanted to ask you guys. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that until now. On the Iron Throne right now is Queen Cersei Lannister.
Yep.
Does the Iron Throne even matter at this point? We have Dany coming over the Narrow Sea. This is my fault entirely. I'm so sorry. But does the Iron Throne matter at this point? She's killed off the small council. She is on thin ice. What do you guys think?
Well, speaking as from one queen to another, I think that it still matters. It still has great symbolic importance. Obviously, you think about the Iron Throne and who's going to control the Iron Throne. It's been one of the driving conflicts for the entire series. Mm-hmm. So the fact that she is the first woman in Westerosi history to rule from the Iron Throne, it's significant. And she's at a disadvantage for sure heading into season 7. You see that last shot of Dany's armies, the Dothraki, the Unsullied, 3 dragons. Does seem like Cersei might be in trouble, but she's been in trouble before, and she's always figured out some way out of it. So I think it's people underestimate Cersei at their own peril.
Mm-hmm. And Dan, what do you think?
I think that Queen Number 1 said it perfectly, perfectly well.
Well, then, as far as politics goes in Westeros, do you think it really matters who's sitting there now? Now that we know ice zombies are coming, now that we know that Bran's got a bigger story ahead, does it even matter?
I think it matters to the people. It matters because it means something to the people in the country. It's a symbol, but symbols have power when lots of people are vested in them, and they let the symbols guide their actions and behavior. So I think the fact that she's there and she's sold herself as the Queen of Westeros and people presumably are buying it in large numbers means that it's important. It's important if everybody thinks it's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, leaders matter in the Seven Kingdoms. So actually, on that note, Sophie, I want to ask you about your final scene this season. Right, you're not the King of the North. You're not the Queen of the North.
No.
What is your take on that final look that Sansa gives Littlefinger?
I think there's always kind of a bit of sibling rivalry between Sansa and Jon. There has been since they were very young. And I think that look between Sansa and Littlefinger is her kind of acknowledging that his points are somewhat legitimate, and she's kind of intrigued as to that pretty little picture that he painted of him on the Iron Throne and her by his side, and she's kind of thinking, well, he'll give me the credit that I deserve, so. But it's very interesting to see where her loyalties will now lie. Whether she'll go with Jon or Littlefinger.
Yeah. And as far as Jon goes, I'm sure you guys are all relieved to stop having to talk about whether Jon Snow is alive.
Yeah.
But he's not the only character who came back this season. I think everyone was really excited to see the Hound come back. We also saw Benjen Stark come back, and of course we saw Jon Snow come back. Who else would you want to come back onto the show? Isaac, you're probably going to say this guy right here, right?
Yeah. No, God, no. Finally,
He's got somebody else
seasons
now.
and at last we got rid of him.
We don't have any more doors to hold. I mean, let's but who do you guys want to see back on the show?
Pedro
Stumped
Pascal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second
Pedro,
that.
Oberyn. Yes, that guy. He was just a lot of fun. He's just a fun guy to work with. I don't know about the character, but
Yeah, you might need
he was
some
nice.
facial reconstructions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might need someone to piece all that back together. And now, season 7 is a long way away, but is there anything you are so excited for people to see at this point?
Well, we don't know anything. They don't tell
Yeah.
us anything.
Literally
Yeah.
nothing.
Literally not.
Well, I'm
Oh,
dead.
oh no.
He's out of the loop.
And now we're back into darkness. So we're gonna end on that, which feels appropriate. Thank you guys so much for coming. Please stay with EW for more Comic-Con scoop.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.